Relax and take notes while I take totes of the marijuana smoke. Throw you in a choke, gun smoke, gun smoke. Biggie Smalls for mayor, the rap slayer, the hooker layer. Motherfucker, say your prayers. Hail Mary, full of grace. Smack the bitch in the face, take her Gucci bag and a North Face off her back. Jab her if she act funny with the money. Oh, you got me mistaken, honey. I don't wanna rape ya, I just want the paper, the visa, the pisha. I'm out like the vapors. Who's the one?
The entire cafeteria went dead silent when a 320-pound inmate dropped to the floor without a single warning sound. Nobody laughed after that, and nobody ever would again. If you want the full story of what Bruce Lee did that day, hit subscribe, because we drop these every single day and you do not want to miss what comes next. It was a Tuesday afternoon in the fall of 1972. The cafeteria at Riverside Correctional Facility in California was packed with hundreds of inmates running through the same routine they ran every single day. Metal trays scraping against steel counters, plastic cups hitting aluminum tables, the low constant hum of men who had learned to fill silence with noise because silence in prison meant something was wrong. Bruce Lee had been inside for 3 weeks at that point. He was 30 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighed 140 pounds, soaking wet. He carried his tray the same way he carried everything else in his life. Quietly, deliberately, without drawing attention to what his hands were actually capable of doing. Most of the inmates had already heard his name. A few of them had seen his face before on the outside, from magazines or newspaper stories about martial arts. But none of that mattered inside Riverside. What mattered inside Riverside was size, weight, the willingness to make another man feel small in front of everyone watching. Bruce sat at the far end of the second row, away from the windows, away from the guards station, away from the loud center tables where the facility's dominant personalities liked to perform for each other. He ate without looking up. He had learned in his first week that making eye contact at the wrong moment was an invitation, and Bruce Lee was not interested in invitations. That was when Marcus Cole walked in. Marcus Cole was 34 years old, 6 feet 3 inches tall, and weighed 320 pounds. He had been inside Riverside for 6 years, and he had 2 more years left on his sentence for aggravated assault. In those 6 years, he had built something that most men in that facility respected more than anything else. He had built a reputation. Every man in that cafeteria knew who Marcus Cole was. Every man knew what Marcus Cole had done to the last 3 inmates who thought his size was an exaggeration. Marcus walked through the food line without waiting. The inmates ahead of him stepped aside the way water moves around a boulder. Nobody said anything. Nobody looked directly at him for more than half a second. That was the unspoken agreement inside Riverside. You did not stare at Marcus Cole. He took his tray and turned toward the center tables. That was when he saw Bruce Lee sitting alone at the far end of the second row. Marcus stopped walking. He looked at Bruce the way a man looks at something that does not fit the picture he has been carrying in his head. He had heard the name. He had heard the stories, and what he saw sitting at that table, eating quietly, did not match a single word of what he had been told. Marcus started laughing. It was not a quiet laugh. It was not a laugh he tried to keep between himself and the men around him. It was a full open laugh that came up from somewhere deep and filled the cafeteria the way only a man completely certain of his own position can laugh. He turned to the inmates nearest to him and pointed across the room toward Bruce. "That is the man everyone has been talking about," Marcus said loud enough for 3 tables to hear. "That right there. That is the one they said I should be careful around." A few of the men around Marcus laughed with him. The ones who did not laugh looked down at their trays. They were not laughing because they thought it was funny. They were laughing because when Marcus Cole laughed at something, agreeing with him was the safest available option. Bruce did not look up. He took another bite of his food. His jaw moved slowly. His eyes stayed down. His right hand rested flat on the table beside his tray, fingers relaxed, completely still. Marcus walked across the cafeteria toward Bruce's table. The men seated nearby watched his path and quietly shifted away from wherever it looked like he was heading. By the time Marcus reached the second row, there was a clear corridor of empty seats between him and Bruce. Marcus set his tray down directly across from Bruce and sat without being invited. Bruce looked up for the first time. He did not say anything. He looked at Marcus the way a man looks at weather, not with fear, not with aggression, with the kind of calm assessment that comes from spending years learning exactly what a situation requires and nothing more. "You are smaller than I thought," Marcus said. He was not whispering. "You are a lot smaller than I thought." Bruce picked up his cup and drank from it slowly. Marcus leaned forward across the table. "I heard you were supposed to be dangerous. I heard men on the outside were afraid of you." He gestured around the cafeteria with one hand. "You see these men in here. You see how they look at me when I walk in. That is what dangerous looks like. That is what respect looks like. What you look like is a man who should be thanking God every morning that nobody in here has decided to make an example out of you yet." Bruce set his cup down. He looked at Marcus for a long moment without speaking. Then he said, "I am not here to impress anyone. I am here to finish my time and go home. That is all I want." Marcus smiled. He leaned back. He looked around at the inmates watching from nearby tables and raised his voice so the whole section could hear. "He says he just wants to finish his time and go home." He looked back at Bruce. "Every man in here wants that. The difference is some of us earned the right to say it out loud. You have not earned anything in here yet." Bruce did not respond. He looked back down at his tray. That was the moment Marcus made his decision. He could see it happening, and every experienced man in that cafeteria could see it too. Marcus Cole had decided that Bruce Lee's silence was not peace. He had decided it was weakness, and in Marcus Cole's experience, weakness was something that needed to be addressed publicly so that everyone watching understood the order of things. Marcus reached across the table and pushed Bruce's tray hard enough that it slid to the edge and stopped just short of falling off. Food shifted. The cup tipped and righted itself. The sound of the tray scraping across metal cut through the cafeteria noise like a blade. The cafeteria went quiet. Not completely quiet, but the kind of quiet that means everyone has stopped pretending they are not watching. Bruce looked at his tray. Then he looked at his hands resting on the table. Then he looked up at Marcus. He stood up slowly, not fast, not with urgency. The way a man stands when he has already decided what is going to happen next, and there is no reason to rush toward it. Marcus stood up too. He had 6 inches and 180 pounds on the man standing across from him. He had the entire cafeteria watching. He had 6 years of built reputation in that facility behind him. Every variable in that room said what was about to happen next should not even be close. Bruce's hands came up, not in the wide, aggressive posture of a brawler, in the precise, controlled position of a man who had spent more than 20 years understanding exactly how the human body moves and exactly where it is vulnerable and exactly how much force is required to end a confrontation in the shortest possible time. Marcus swung first, a wide right hand loaded with everything his 320 pounds could generate. It was the kind of punch that had ended previous situations quickly and completely. It did not land. Bruce moved his head 3 inches to the left, and the punch passed through empty air. In the same motion. Before Marcus had finished the swing, before his weight had finished transferring forward, Bruce's right hand came back in a short, compact arc and connected with the side of Marcus's jaw with a sound that every man in that cafeteria heard clearly over everything else in the room. Marcus Cole's legs stopped working. He did not stumble. He did not grab a table for support. He went straight down the way a building comes down when the foundation gives out, all at once, with nothing to slow the fall. 320 pounds hit the cafeteria floor, and the sound rolled through the room like a door slamming in an empty hallway. He was not unconscious, but he was not getting up quickly either. The cafeteria was completely silent. Bruce stood and looked down at Marcus for a moment. Then he reached over, straightened his tray, sat back down, and picked up his fork. Nobody said a word. Nobody laughed. The guards reached Marcus Cole approximately 45 seconds after he hit the floor. By the time they arrived, Bruce was already eating again, and the men at nearby tables were studying their food with great concentration. Marcus was helped to the medical unit. No bones were broken. No serious injury was recorded. He was back in general population within 2 days. But something had changed inside Riverside Correctional Facility that Tuesday afternoon. It was not a loud change. It did not announce itself. It moved through the population the way important information always moves in a closed environment, quietly and completely. The men who had laughed along with Marcus Cole when he pointed across the cafeteria did not laugh about it again. The men who had watched from their tables and said nothing found reasons to nod at Bruce when they passed him in the... Marcus Cole himself never sat uninvited at another man's table again for the remainder of his sentence. Bruce Lee finished his time at Riverside the same way he had started it, quietly, without performance, without needing the room to know what he was capable of until the room gave him no other choice. He ate his meals at the far end of the second row. He kept his hands relaxed and still on the table beside his tray. He did not make eye contact with men who were looking for invitations. He was not there to impress anyone. He was there to finish his time and go home, and every man inside Riverside Correctional Facility understood by the end of that Tuesday that those 2 sentences were, no. They were the most precise description of controlled power that any of them had ever witnessed up close. Some men spend their whole lives trying to make a room afraid of them. Bruce Lee spent 30 seconds making a room respect him. The difference between those 2 things is everything. If this story hit different and you want more untold stories about Bruce Lee inside prison walls, then hit that subscribe button right now because we drop a brand new story every single day. These are the moments that never made headlines. The moments that happened behind closed doors in front of men who never forgot what they saw. If you have been here from the beginning, you already know what we do. If you are new here, today was a good day to start. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. Leave a comment below and tell us what you think Bruce Lee was thinking in those final seconds before he stood up. We read every single one. See you tomorrow.